Buongiorno a tutti, bentrovati dal Faris Film Festival di Udine, questo quartier generale. Quello che vedete dietro di me, dietro di noi oggi, è il visionario. Dunque, oggi parliamo di cinema perché lo spunto ci viene da un documentario che fa parte della nostra selezione, uno dei 6 documentari di questa line-up del 2021. Un film che racconta come 4 registi asiatici abbiano incontrato tantissime difficoltà prima di diventare dei veri maestri, e questo ci dà lo spunto per parlare di cinema hongkongese, ma non solo. Allora, abbiamo tantissimi ospiti questa mattina. Collegati con noi ci sono Tim Youngs da Hong Kong, che saluterei subito, che è il nostro consulente per la sezione dedicata appunto ad Hong Kong. Hello Tim.
Hi, Sabrina.
Great to see you. Then we have also another guest from Kuala Lumpur for the first time. The director of the documentary I was talking about just at the beginning of this live session. So I would like to say hello to Tiong Guan from Kuala Lumpur. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Tiong Guan.
Buongiorno, Sabrina. How are you?
Buongiorno. So nice. You can speak Italian. Great.
Just a little bit.
Accanto a me c'è... Amazing. Vicino a me c'è Andrea VENUTI, l'esperto di cinema asiatico, che ha appena scritto un libro molto importante che vi faccio vedere, adesso vediamo anche tramite la regia, il libro dedicato interamente a John Woo e in particolare al rapporto di John Woo con il crime movie, contestualizzato naturalmente nel mondo e nella cinematografia hongkongese. Dunque, per entrare più a fondo rispetto al tema della discussione di oggi, direi che potremmo vedere subito 5 minuti tratti appunto dal documentario che si chiama Life in 24 Frames a Second, che è diretto da Tiong Guan, che è collegato con noi da Kuala Lumpur. Vediamo 5 minuti di questa bellissima intervista a John Woo e poi ne discutiamo con i nostri ospiti.
我係1946年喺廣州出世，嗰陣時候因為都係仍然係一個比較混亂嘅年代。原來到我3歲嘅時候咧有一場大病，唔知點解就喺嗰個背脊嗰度咧就長咗一個瘡，一個好細嘅瘡。咁啊，原來咧佢慢慢發炎咧，一路發一路大啦，因為成個背脊都爛咗，咁啊瞓唔到啊，咁咧就去睇中醫啦。當時嘅中醫嘅嗰啲醫生，即係就個個都話冇得救噶啦，咁成個背脊爛晒，咁即係冇得救噶啦，就準備叫我父親咧就放棄咗我。咁我父親就同佢哋話唔得，呢個係我仔，佢將來會係一個天才，我點都要救翻佢。後來碰到一個醫生咧，就係西醫嚟嘅，佢就要個醫生咧就救翻我。咁個醫生咧就試下用西式嘅方式咁一路同我施手術，然後咧就將嗰個大髀咧就割啲肉出嚟補個背脊咁。咁後來終於係醫好咗啦，雖然我腳又到8歲先至可以行路，咁正常行路咁樣。後來移民咗去香港啦， 早期香港嘅生活都係比較艱難嘅，因為好多都係喺大陸過去，咁我哋又住嗰個即係石硤尾木屋區，住喺石硤尾木屋區嘅時候咧，已經係好黑暗、好混亂啊！呢個地方開賭檔啊，又吸毒啊，又呢個娼妓啊，好多啲嗰啲好唔好嘅嘢。唔知咩原因，後來就成個木屋區就火燒，個火災係非常之嚴重。咁總之成個區咧就係咪燒晒。咁我哋住喺稍為高啲嘅地方咧，都係喺個山坡上邊咧，以為燒唔到㗎啦，咁樣唔使驚嘅。點知眨下眼咧就連我哋嗰邊都燒埋。咁啊，石硤尾火災之後，我哋住喺街邊先啦，就等政府起一啲嗰啲公屋。嗰啲即係嗰啲叫做徙置區啊咁樣，咁啊先係住喺街邊嘅時候咧，咁時打交咯，有時又俾人打啦，有時打到俾人淋燒酸。好彩就媽媽同嗰啲鄰居啲阿嬸啊，一發現咧，咁啊將我咧就抱起上嚟，咁啊刀頭插落個水缸度，用啲水嚟消解嗰啲燒酸。即係嗰個時期雖然話係窮困，雖然話係好多啲嘢冇發生，同埋即係我哋受我哋父母嘅教育好好，即係覺得使到佢哋嘅教育，使到我哋覺得窮唔係羞恥一件事嚟，係一個好正常嘅社會現象嘅。有啲人生活好啲，有啲人生活差啲咁，即係但係最緊要就唔好喪失自己嘅志氣啊！同埋即係對於一啲惡勢力，對於一啲任何嘅侵犯，無論喺嗰個精神上或者肉體上邊咧，做人都要堅強嗰啲，有一份鬥志喺度，永遠都唔低頭。所以做人要堅強咧，就係後來喺我啲電影裏邊都出現咧，好似英雄本色咁，就係唯一對白話：我永遠都唔俾人用槍指住我頭。嗰個當然我唔係黑社會，我哋嗰啲有。但係我用咁嘅象徵意思，一係講即係冇人可以使到我低頭。
Siamo tornati in diretta, abbiamo visto uno spezzone tratto dal film documentario Life in 24 Frames a Second, diretto da Tiong Guan. Tiong Guan, your film follows the life of 4 different directors. They're very different, but they all share something really, really similar in some way. Would you like to talk about that? How did you choose them?
Well, I've got the idea to make this film sometime in 2015 or 2016. I have the idea of wanting to make a film about human triumph and struggle against hardship, tragedy, and how they overcome the difficulties in life. So the initial idea was to have a number of people to interview. And then I've decided that I should focus only on filmmakers, film directors, because I think, film directors are very, very interesting. And I've been an admirer of Mr. John Woo's film since I was a little boy. And as I was growing up in my teenage year, I've read about his life, about his background, and I find him to be very inspiring. And I thought I should try to at least ask him to see if I can film him in this documentary. And I've also read interviews and biographies about other directors in Asia. And I've found that the life experience that the directors such as Mr. Anurag Kashyap, Mr. Rithipant, and Mr. Lavdias to be also very, very inspiring. How they persevere and they actually struggle to live through all these hardships and tragedies in their life. So that is how I came to decide on these 4 directors, and luckily they have finally said yes, and we filmed them, and that's the result of the film.
So basically, wasn't difficult for you to get in touch with John Woo, for example, with, just because we are talking more about him today. Wasn't so difficult. He's such a nice person, right?
Yes, he is a person. I managed to get to him through the distributor of his most recent film, Manhunt, in Malaysia, Miss Joanne Goh. She helped me get in touch with Mr. John Woo. So I wrote him a letter explaining what I wanted to do with the film and what is the reason for the film. I told him that we are making this film for charity, and also I remember mentioning to him that his life experience will give hope and inspire many, and he said yes, and he's such a generous man, and he spent so much time with us filming, and very gentle, very friendly, very kind, and it's like a
Yes.
dream come true to be able to film him.
Yes, I can imagine because we had the chance to meet him a couple of times in our lives, and we found it a very, very gentle person. Even though, as a film festival in 1999, we we had a special section about John Woo's comedies in the 80s, and it was really funny because when I met him on the set of Radcliffe in Beijing in 2008, I told him, you know, Mr. John Woo, in Italy we showed your comedies, and he replied me say, "Oh my God, my comedies! I don't want to see them anymore." It was very funny. Going back to Tim Young's, who is speaking from Hong Kong. I actually would love to ask you if you think now John Woo can be, can still be a representative of Hong Kong cinema, or not anymore.
I think he still can. I mean, he was hugely influential from the mid 1980s when A Better Tomorrow came out. And that film had an enormous impact. It was very successful at the box office. It established a lot of traditions that fall into action cinema. It brought older traditions from, say, wuxia film, martial arts, into contemporary settings. And he built on that. And I think he was very influential in a way that is still reflected today. There are filmmakers today like Felix Chong who are obviously drawing on his work. If you look at a film like, for example, Project Gutenberg, or even Infernal Affairs, which we're showing this year, you can see that the influence was there. In terms of younger filmmakers, I'm not sure if he's so influential. I mean, younger filmmakers now tend to look more to An Hui, or who else? Or Johnny To, for example. But you still see signs of his influence and the lines of cinema that he created. We're showing Hand-Rolled Cigarette this year at Far East Film Festival, and you can see that the themes of brotherhood, loyalty, justice, and kind of these personal codes of honor that you would have found in John Woo's films like The Killer and A Better Tomorrow reappear in Hand-Rolled Cigarette today, and that film's by a very young director. So the influence is still there. John Woo's films, on the other hand, have not been hugely successful in recent years. The Crossing 2 and Manhunt, his most recent Chinese language films, were not super popular.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Tim, for that. May I ask you which is your favorite John Woo's film?
I would say A Better Tomorrow.
A Better
There
Tomorrow.
are other films that you could point to and say, wow, that film has astonishing action. The Killer, Hard Boiled, A Bullet in the Head. But I think A Better Tomorrow really brings the complete package of John Woo's cinema in a way that, for me, is most satisfying.
What about you, Tiong Guan? Your
My
favorite?
favorite is Hard Boiled. That is the film that was my favorite, and I think it's also because that's the film that got me into John Woo. And I remember I was, I think, maybe 12, 13 years old when I saw it on VHS tape, and that got me into, pretending to be Chow Yun-fat with the two guns and in front of the mirror. And since then, I'm a big fan of Mr. Woo's film. I think Hard Boiled is definitely the favorite. Yeah.
Your favorite. And talking about John Woo's style, especially in the crime films, I would like to start talking with Andrea, who wrote this special book about John Woo's cinema. And we are going to speak in Italian. Andrea, ben arrivato.
Buongiorno a tutti e innanzitutto ti ringrazio Sabrina per avermi invitato, sono davvero onorato di partecipare a questo evento anche con ospiti così illustri. Chiedo ancora scusa se parlo in italiano, ma sono molto emozionato e quindi preferisco esprimermi in italiano. Dimmi pure.
Allora, cominciamo subito a raccontare come hai costruito il tuo libro dedicato al cinema di John Woo, come hai cominciato a raccontarlo, contestualizzandolo nel cinema di Hong Kong, e invece poi nella seconda parte hai analizzato molti dei suoi film. Ecco, volevo capire la struttura del tuo volume.
Certamente, come hai ben detto, è una struttura abbastanza insolita, in quanto io non ho iniziato a parlare di John Woo, bensì ho deciso di focalizzarmi subito sulla nascita della cosiddetta New Way. La New Way è stato un movimento avanguardista che ha appunto modificato radicalmente il cinema di Hong Kong. Hong Kong finalmente con la New Way diventa una protagonista assoluta, con i vari registi che sono stati in grado di esplorarla dettagliatamente, facendone emergere pregi e soprattutto difetti. Sono partito dalla New Way perché sono fermamente convinto che se ad Hong Kong nei primi anni '80 non si fosse sviluppata questa corrente così radicale, il nostro John Woo sarebbe rimasto a dirigere commedie o, peggio ancora, spedito definitivamente a Taiwan. Io vi ricordo che appunto John Woo inizia la sua carriera nell'ormai lontano 1973 con i primi film di arti marziali. Lui poi diventa famoso ad Hong Kong con le commedie. I giornali locali lo definivano il nuovo Golden Boy della commedia di Hong Kong. Bisogna essere onesti, John Woo in un primo momento era molto contento di dirigere commedie, lui da piccolino amava i musical, amava le commedie, però lo sappiamo benissimo, John Woo è un regista proiettato al futuro, non si guarda mai indietro. E cosa succede? Che arrivato ad un certo punto della carriera, lui è stanco di dirigere commedie, quindi va alla Cinema City sperando di trovare più libertà. Ovviamente le prime commedie le ha dirette alla Golden Arcs, cito Money Crazy, che secondo me è una commedia bellissima, commedia cacciarona, ricca di inventiva, è quasi un cartoon. Oppure pensiamo anche a From Riches to Rags del 1980, questa è un'opera delirante, un John Woo folle che arriva a parodiare 2001 Odissea nello spazio e tantissimi altri film.
Sì, tornando al libro che noi infatti abbiamo mostrato nel 1999.
Quindi, tornando al libro, quindi io parto dalla New Way, spiego che cos'è. Poi a questo punto mi collego subito a John Woo, e questo perché John Woo, come stavo dicendo prima, arrivato a un punto della carriera non ce la faceva più, era esausto, era stato spedito a Taiwan a dirigere i B-movie, ed ecco che entra in gioco Tsui Hark, diventato nel mentre uno dei registi più famosi di Hong Kong, uno dei padri della New Way. Tsui Hark era stato lanciato proprio da John Woo. Tsui Hark, vedendo l'amico in difficoltà, decide di aiutarlo e decide di produrgli A Better Tomorrow, e quindi è per questo motivo che parto dalla New Way, perché grazie alla New Way si forma Tsui Hark, Tsui Hark diventa famoso, Tsui Hark produce A Better Tomorrow, e da qui poi ho iniziato a parlare di John Woo.
Infatti, devo dire che il tuo libro è molto interessante, appunto perché ci dà la possibilità di ripercorrere tutte le tappe fondamentali sia della carriera di John Woo che in realtà della storia di una cinematografia che amiamo fin dalla prima ora del festival, che è quella hongkonghese. Ripeto, molte delle commedie, 8 delle commedie di cui parlava appunto Andrea poco fa, che avevano definito John Woo all'inizio della sua carriera come un golden boy appunto del cinema comedy di Hong Kong, sono quelle che abbiamo mostrato nel 1999 all'interno dell'edizione di allora proprio del Far East Film Festival. Ma torniamo un attimo ai nostri ospiti che sono collegati da Kuala Lumpur e da Hong Kong, prima di chiudere questa sessione live di Far East Film Festival numero 23 con un altro piccolo spezzone tratto dal documentario che verrà viene presentato proprio oggi al visionario alle 2:15 del pomeriggio, documentario che si chiama Life in 24 Frames a Second, diretto dal regista Tiong Guan, che è in collegamento con noi da Kuala Lumpur. Tiong Guan, going back to your documentary, we were wondering, how did you manage to have this very intimate interview with your 4 director, and especially how you managed to do that with Jean-Wu? Such an intimate interview.
I think there's a trust there, and also because of the intention of the film, he trusted that it is something which is good, that he wanted to help out not only with the project but the objectives of the film. And during the discussion, he was very candid, very straightforward. He felt comfortable. I don't know how that actually happened, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, thank you for these words. I think you did a great job with all the 4
Thank you.
directors. So congratulations for that, and good luck with your documentary.
Grazie. Thank you.
Prego. And Tim, you, of course, you remember very well when we presented John Woo's comedies in Udine. Would you say something about that? And the closing of this live section, it would be great if you can say something about nowadays, John Woo now, what he's doing now.
Well, I think the comedies series was before I started, so I can't really talk about that series.
No, I mean in general.
Oh, okay. So sorry to.
If you see some of them, because they were a specific part of John Woo's career, but don't worry, just to remember that we did that, and it was like a real surprise for many of Westerners, because nobody knew about those kind of cinema, in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nobody could understand, could imagine to link John Woo to this kind of cinema. So funny, so different.
Well, honestly, I think it's the same feeling in Hong Kong today. Those comedies are not really remembered. If you talk to people about John Woo, they're going to really talk about his career from 1986 onwards. And it's only when you look back at old Hong Kong International Film Festival books, or you look at other books that came out in the early 80s, when you see that, yes, he was, as Andrea said, the golden boy of comedy. If you watch films like To Hell with the Devil, which is kind of a Hong Kong take on Faust, these are actually quite enjoyable comedies. But the kind of the impact that he had once he kind of moved away from the comedies has really overshadowed what's there in terms of public interest. I also think availability is an issue too. I mean, if you see films getting high profile, video releases, they're all from the action era.
Great. And do you know what is going on with John Woo now?
No, sorry, I don't.
Nobody knows. Maybe he's doing something special for all of his fans. So I really would love to say thank you to all our guests today. Thank you, Tim. We will speak more in the coming days. Thank you so much, Tiong Guan. It was great to meet you, even though we are in Italy and you are in Malaysia.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Grazie ad Andrea.
I hope to be there next year.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yes. We are waiting for you to come here, for sure. Thank you very much for taking your time, to talk with us and to speak about Jamvu. And we can say moving forward, this is our claim for today. And I think we can share with you this. Speak to you
Yes.
soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Grazie. Thank you.
Bye.
Grazie.